Let's talk baseball with Dordt University head baseball coach Nathan Bacon. And coach, I looked at the calendar and the schedule, and if things had gone according to plan, I believe this would have been the final week of the regular season. Now, that's all if things went according to plan. But yeah, we've shut it down for 5 or 6 weeks at this point. But this would have been the end of the regular season. Kind of bittersweet when you start thinking about it in those terms.
Yeah, yeah, it is. It's an interesting first year here at Dordt, and it's something nobody could have foresaw. And as we looked at the schedule, it should have been Morningside this weekend, and doing a home and home, and working on senior day stuff. So it's yeah, it is bittersweet. Absolutely, I think you nailed it right there.
Have you been able to turn the page, so to speak, since March when you had to close things down? Is it still lingering? Where are you at right now as a coach and as a coaching staff?
Yeah, it was interesting. We were down in Arizona when everything happened, and it was, I would say, it was somber. We were talking about, we just told our student athletes that, we were at that point suspended until after Easter, and I think as a staff, we kind of had an idea where that was leading. And that bus ride was really somber. Is probably the mood I would use for our guys. And as it took probably a good 10 to 14 days to kind of shake that kind of weirdness, uniqueness of the situation off. And as a staff, right now we're spending a lot of time. We did Zoom meetings with all of our guys last week and the week before, and I post in our app with our guys, and just trying to stay in touch with them as much as we can, while still allowing them to focus on their new learning environment, so they can have a good academic semester. I think that's the positive spin on this. Those young men can really hammer out the academic side of it, and for our freshmen, set up a really good foundation, and for our older guys, continue on and on their track to graduation. And I think it's allowed us to work ahead a little bit, which for selfishly is nice, with the little one due August 3rd, and so I'll get be a little bit freed up when our son gets here. But it's been a unique situation, and it's one of those things that it's allowed some opportunity to just really be an example for Christ, whether that be on social media or in conversations with friends of mine on how we're handling it.
Tell me about how you handle it with the team. I mean, we want to, in times like these, I always think the baseball piece of it is maybe the easy part, or the football piece of it is the easy part. It's the dealing with, you're dealing with 30 to 40 young men who really a very disappointing turn of events in their relatively young life.
Yeah.
How do you handle that as a coaching staff?
I think obviously, it's tough on all of them. The ones that I think our hearts really go out to is our seniors, our guys that are graduating and had other things planned, and whether we got a couple guys getting married, we got some guys that had jobs lined up, and that's it's hard. It goes back to the question that you ask so many times in your life, like why is this happening, and just working through that, and just using it as an opportunity to fall back on our reality that since the original sin, these things are gonna happen because we live in an imperfect world, and just teach through that. And I think one thing that I've really tried to do is use pieces of scripture a lot of challenging times, or whether it be Paul or Habakkuk or whatever it is in scripture, and just teach through that on how to crisis manage almost. I think for us that's been a huge point, and just remembering that through all this, that us as Christians, that we are the bride of Christ, and that he has a perfect plan for us, and he's going to take care of us, and it may not look how we want it to look. And that was something that we really I've really tried tried to lean into it and challenge them that this is a great time for them to lean into God. They don't have, our sport is so hard to right now with the current environment, parks closed, indoors closed. It's not like we can set out these plans like, hey, go play catch, go hit, go get ground balls. Guys are very limited in that. And so this is a great opportunity for them to spend some time in the Word and spend some time, focus on their relationship with God. That college kids, it can get lost on them at times to take that time. And so that's, I think, one thing that I've really tried to focus on with those guys when I drop them a video in our band app or talk with them individually. And so I think that's been our big focus, and just staying connected with them, whether it's shooting a guy a text or shooting them a call, and just trying to stay connected. I think it is a great opportunity to invest in themselves right now during this time.
From a baseball standpoint, how was the year going? I know the wins were kind of far apart, and we knew pitching depth would be an issue going into this season. But where did you feel like you were at on the spring break trip in terms of baseball?
Yeah, I think we had, Saturday we had a great come from behind win against Dakota Wesleyan to really start us off and split with Dakota State. We played some good opponents down there. I think we had some real positive things going on. We had a couple injuries there early that hindered us offensively, I felt like, and we were fielding it really well. And we were, Vanderhart was really starting to piece it together on the mound. He had thrown back-to-back complete games. And Droger, we were really confident that Droger was, once we got back, he's coming off the surgery, that he was going to come back and be a key piece for us. And Willem, he's coming off the Tommy John surgery. I think he is getting his feet about him on the mound. And so those starting guys, we really felt like they were about to turn the corner, and Vanderhart already had. I mean, that kid looked really good, and I'm really excited about next year with him, and same with Willem. But we also had some guys out of the pen that were doing a great job. That we're starting to figure out what it looked like, what it looked like. Paloma had really done a really good job coming out of the pen. I think in 18 games, I think we used him 8 or 9 times already, and he had done. He's a guy we could trust. Same with Austin Johnson and Peyton Stockwell. We were really, I think, figuring out, who are going to be our shutdown guys as we move forward. And, talking with our team individually, we had a group of guys that really felt positive and confident about us coming back and finding a way to get in the GPAC tournament. And so that was great to hear those guys that, talking with them. Yeah, we were 4-14. But we've played some really quality opponents, and the likes of McPherson and Benedictine colleges. They're off to roaring starts, and you got to play those guys. I think those guys make you better when you play them, and so our guys are really confident and excited to get back from Arizona, have a good week of practice. The weather was going to be awesome here in Sioux Center, and we're going to be able to get out in the field. I'm like texting our field guy, hey, how's it look? We're going to be able to practice outside and then jump into GPAC play. We had 1 GPAC win already, and we felt like if we could find a way to get to 11, we were going to get in the tournament and then see what happens from there.
How do you turn your attention now to next year? And you alluded to some of the challenges that you have. Guys can't get in the cage right now. Parks are limited. And one thing that I've learned with college baseball is the summer is an extended season where a lot of baseball players who want to hone their craft will seek out opportunities. Those opportunities may be limited this summer. How do you counteract that?
Yeah, with the summer stuff, I think we had about 14 guys that were planning on playing somewhere this summer. The leagues that they're in haven't been canceled yet. I think one thing that as a coaching staff, we've really we have some concern about is injury, just with having been shut down for so long. Lord willing, kind of looks like we're maybe on the back hill of this thing, and so we got some guys that live in some places where parks and indoor facilities are starting to open up, and for us, it's just really hammering home the fact that they don't have to jump right back into it. It's a slow progress, especially with our pitchers. We've got some arms that are slated to go out and throw this summer, and so we put out a plan for those guys to kind of work through it. And Coach Rosa and Coach Esch, they've done a bang up job with making those plans. With strength and conditioning and baseball, the baseball aspect of it's something that we feel like they can do while they're at home. So when they're able to go back outside, that they'll be able to progress at a good rate that keeps them safe from injury. So my hat's off. Those two guys do an awesome job, with that stuff. And it's one of those things we've got to, trust our guys, and we do. We trust our guys to know their body and take care of themselves. And as we kind of look forward, we're kind of doing the same thing with our guys that are committed right now, and putting some stuff out for those guys too, because right now they aren't playing, and so we want those guys, we're really excited about some of those guys coming in our class as a whole. And it's we want to make sure that they're ready, so when they get here in the fall, they don't come in banged up or hurt themselves early in the fall and kind of set themselves back.
10 days from now, we plan to make that announcement, and the group, the incoming class for fall 2020. How do you feel about that class? And I know Coach is always optimistic, and you're going to find out what they actually have when you see them in person. But I guess, what are the strengths of this class, and what were you looking for?
Yeah, so as I took the job, and it's a unique situation, starting a recruiting process without knowing kind of where you're at. And so as we got through the fall, I think pitching depth is something that we really wanted to focus on. I'm really excited about the arms we have coming in. We've got some really talented young arms that I feel are going to breed competition. And if you watched, if anybody out there watched The Last Dance this last Sunday night, I think you can see what competition can do, and just what that kind of that atmosphere can create. And so I really want competition on the mound, and guys to really earn it. And so we're really excited about that. We've got some great pieces offensively, whether they be incoming freshmen or transfer guys that are going to challenge there too. And I think the biggest thing that we focused on with this class is we wanted to create depth, and we wanted to create competition throughout our lineup, throughout every position on the field. We wanted to create competition. And so for us, I want the guy who's the starting guy to feel like he can't let up, because the guy behind him's right on his tail and pushing him every day. And that way, when that backup guy's a junior or senior and it's his time, that he's been refined by fire, and now he understands what the guy behind him's doing, trying to take his spot. And so this class is foundational for Defender baseball, and under my lead and my service to the program. It's foundational for us as we move forward, and we're really excited about it. And again, I tip my hat to Coach Rosa and Coach Eshelman. They've done a great job bringing in quality guys that are great Dordt fits, that I know are going to be influential on our campus and be interactive members of the Dordt community. But they're also very talented on the field and in the classroom as well. And so I'm excited about it.
Coach Bacon, I think that's about it for today. And I thank you for taking some time, and look forward to that recruiting class being made public in about 10 days or so. And it'll be a really good thing when we can hear the ping of the bats and the snap of the gloves again. But for right now, stay safe.
Absolutely. Thank you, Mike. Have a good one.